All this week, we are talking about how to be more effective in sales so that you can be more profitable, you can have a better process, and so your landscaping business can grow. And today we're talking about 3 tips for your pricing your landscaping jobs more effectively. So stay tuned, and I'm going to share those tips with you. I'm Gabe Arnold, and this is the Green Mountain Podcast. We are the champions who brave the elements to create beauty. We see chaos and create order. We are never afraid of hard work, and we understand the power of strategic thinking and intentional actions. We come from all walks of life, and we will never allow our past to determine our future potential. We create beauty around the homes of our customers and increase the value of our community with the work that we do every day. We understand the power of consistent branding because it helps us grow and serve all those around us. We practice effective sales so our company, employees, and community can benefit from the value we add. We intentionally invest in operational habits that help us deliver excellent results to our customers on a continual basis. We understand that powerful and beautiful things take time to grow, and with consistent watering and intention, amazing results can happen. We are committed to making the world a better place by being positive examples to all those around us. We don't allow anyone to look down on us because we know the value we bring to our community as leaders. We create positive workplaces for our employees so they feel safe and supported, and at the same time, we hold ourselves to high standards. We pursue excellence on a daily basis because we know the journey is worth the sacrifice. We are the protectors of the land. We are the guardians of beauty. We are the heroes. We are landscapers. When it comes to effective pricing in the landscaping space, one of the foundational things that we need to understand in the beginning is actually understanding our true cost. And as I have worked with thousands of entrepreneurs over the last 20 years, it is, unfortunately, to me, still a little bit surprising that it's probably only 1 in 20 business owners who actually know their true costs, know their revenue, know their profit, know their numbers. And that's a recipe for disaster, because if we don't know our actual costs, then we end up in a position where we're making assumptions and we're making, estimates, proposals, we're making decisions, and we don't actually have accurate information. So one of the keys is to make sure that on a monthly basis, at minimum, you're getting a report from your CPA or your bookkeeper or your office manager, whoever's helping you manage your finances, or even if you're doing it yourself, you need to sit down and create this report and get a clear sense of, like, here's the labor that we spent, here's the materials that we spent, here's what we've got left in profit, and here's where our numbers are. Ultimately, as your business grows and as you climb up the Green Mountain all the way to having a $10 million or more per year company, somewhere around, the $1 million to $2 million mark, you are going to want to have daily financials or at least weekly financials, because that will give you a real pulse on where things are at. But as a starting place, make sure that you have a really clear picture of what your expenses are. And then also get a clear sense of how many days, per year your team's going to work, and maybe even how many hours. And so that might be something you need to do some estimating to start on, and then you start tracking over the course of the coming months and year. But allowing yourself to understand, here's the actual days that we do get to work, helps you start to think through, okay, how am I going to support myself financially all year? And what decisions do I need to make? A lot of the times in landscaping businesses, and really this applies a lot in any of the home services, contracting type of companies, you have to make sure that you make a substantial amount of money during your busy season and you're really profitable, so that you have cash and revenue to carry you through the slower seasons. Because depending on what area you are in the country or what region you're serving, you might be able to do some snow maintenance in the winter, but snow is like rain. It comes when it wants to, and it's rarely convenient, and we can't control it. But there's probably some things that you can implement and do in the off season, which we've talked a little bit about on the show, and we'll talk about that in future episodes. But there's definitely a factor involved when you have a landscaping company of saying, okay, I need to make my maximum dollars and be as productive as possible during the busy season when I've got good weather and when people are investing in their landscaping. And then I need to build up enough cash to carry me all year and carry me through the low periods. So regardless of how your business is set up and the services you do have, that factor is going to be at play at some level. So that's why understanding, like, how many days you actually work per year, how many hours your team works on average, or an individual employee may work on average, that will give you a picture of, here's the labor hours that I really have to, invest and expense throughout the year. Here's the days that we're working. Because some of the contractors I've spoken to and some of the landscapers we've worked with, they'll say, oh, like we essentially, we work 8 months and we've got, 20 days per month that we're able to work. And so, we've got essentially, we've got about 240 days, of work that we can do. And so I base my whole budget for the business. I'm sorry, not 240, 160. We've got, about 160 days of like ideal work time. And so how do I take what I'm going to earn in 160 days and cover my overhead and expenses for, 365 days? So that's, again, it really comes down to, as a foundational level, understanding your true expenses and then being able to break that up and say, okay, I have 2 trucks and 2 trailers and my payments are, a couple $1,000s a month. So how do I spread that out across my jobs? Getting a clear picture on expenses is key. And then the other thing to really think about at this level is make sure that you are working with a CPA. You're not trying to do bookkeeping and taxes all on your own, because a good CPA, which I'd be glad to refer one to you, that will take great care of you if you need one. But whoever you use, make sure they're well recommended and they really communicate well and they know their numbers. A good CPA will be able to tell you, this is the percentage of your revenue that should go to your employee labor. This is your percentage that should go to expenses like fuel and overhead and insurance, things like that. And so having those margins or this percentage allows you to know, okay, for every $1,000 my company generates, this much is what should be going to labor. And you can make sure you adjust your model around that, because running the right financial model has a huge impact on how you're going to price effectively when it gets to the job level. So having that foundational stuff in place. The second thing to really pay attention to when you're pricing is plan for the unexpected. Things never go as planned, so always build in extra margin for that. One of the pricing tools that we built on landscapemarketinghero.com under the free tools is a job pricing calculator. And we actually set up different options inside of that. So you can list out, here's the hours I think it's going to take, here's the materials. And then based on how often or how confident you are in that type of work, you can either select, well, I've done this many times, so I know the price is going to be accurate, or I've never done this before, or I've only done it once or twice. So in that case, our calculator actually doubles up some extra time, because it's always going to take longer to do something the first time. And so if you've never done it before, it might take twice as long as you expect, unless it's really similar to some other work you've done. But it's really key in this second kind of tip here, when you're pricing effectively, to make sure that you plan for the unexpected, and you just know it's never going to go perfectly. So how do I build in time and money for that? So first step is really understand your true cost and get a great, strong foundational knowledge of your expenses and your finances. The second tip is make sure you plan for the unexpected, because things are always going to go wrong or not as expected. And if you plan for that, it won't stress you out and you'll still have profit and good revenue inside that job. And then the third thing that's really key as well is get a second set of eyes to look at your pricing early on before you present it to the customer. So that way you can get feedback, you can get input. That's one of the things that we also happily help anybody in the mastermind with, of getting just a second set of eyes and talking through how they priced it, because we have really experienced folks there who price a lot of that work. But you can do that inside of our mastermind. You can call, a peer in your space, or somebody that has another landscaping company, or even just somebody that has any other company in the home services space, because they can talk you through your proposal and challenge you. And if you do that periodically a few times a month, your pricing will improve. End of the day, it's more important to be building cash in our bank accounts than it is number of customer accounts we have, number of employees we have. All those things are good. But if we focus there, our ego can get off track and we can start to think that's what matters. But what matters is that we're growing the business as cash, and then everything else follows along with that. If you need any help with pricing or with anything else in your landscaping business, we'd love to help you. You can head over to landscapemarketinghero.com to learn more. You can contact us there, or you can check out the free tools. Whatever you need, we're here to serve and help you. I appreciate you taking time to tune in today, and I will see you on tomorrow's episode. If you're ready to begin your journey up the Green Mountain, where we show you how to build a low-stress, high-profit, $10 million per year landscaping company, then head over to landscapemarketinghero.com to download your free growth map. One of our guides will be there to help you along the way. Again, that's landscapemarketinghero.com.